Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Voices of Motivation, conversations that inspire. I'm your host, Smitha, and today we are continuing our journey from the last episode. We discussed how sadness seems to stay with us longer than the happiness. So, in this episode, we will dive deeper into this. So, why is it that happiness and laughter feel so temporary? Joining us, as always, is my dear friend, Siona Xavier. Welcome back, Siona, to the show.
Hi, Smitha. Thank you so much for having me back. I loved our conversation last time and I'm excited to explore this even more today.
Great,
Happiness and sadness are such a big part of our life, so it's just amazing that we get to talk about this.
great. So, Siona, you said something really insightful last time in our last episode, right? That happiness and laughter don't last as long as sadness because they are processed differently in the mind and the heart. Like as it is related to the mind and heart, it is, you mentioned. So, let's expand on that. And why do you think joy often feels more lasting, even if happiness is temporary basis? Why is it so?
Yes. So that's really a great question, Smita. So for me, happiness is more like these moments we experience. A funny moment, a sweet gesture, or a compliment someone gives us. Those things lift us up. They make us smile. But it's like they pass as quickly as they come. But with joy, joy is different. It feels more like an anchor inside. It doesn't just show up with a joke or a compliment. It's a kind of contentment that runs deeper. It stays with us even when we are facing tough days. For me, joy is less about what's happening around us and more about what's happening inside. It's the steady, quiet peace that reminds me there's something good and strong within me, even when the world feels all over the place.
Great. Fiona, you meant that, inner happiness is the one thing where joy will be filled within ourselves, right? So happiness is temporary. That makes sense. So is it possible for us to cultivate longer lasting happiness or it is simply bound to be temporary? Basically? How is it?
So, honestly, I feel like happiness is meant to be enjoyed in those small bursts, but we can definitely work on building up our joy. So, happiness to me feels like catching a breeze. Joy, though, is like having a solid foundation, something we build over time. And the best part is, we can nurture this by focusing on things like gratitude and mindfulness. When
Great.
we learn to appreciate the small things around us, our joy grows. It becomes less about big, happy moments and more about those quiet, comforting moments we can create each day. For example, rather than waiting for a special occasion to feel happy, we can try to see the beauty in a cup of coffee in the morning or a few moments of silence at the end of a long day. So, building up this inner joy isn't quick, but it's what keeps us grounded even when things aren't perfect.
Great. So that's a profound way of looking at it. So, Fiona, in your own life, how do you practice this kind of mindfulness joy? How do you do it?
Yes. So personally, I focus on those little moments that give me peace. Like if I'm outside and there's a nice breeze, or if I get to sit with my family for a meal, those moments make me feel a kind of joy that's calming and steady. Those are the times that remind me life doesn't always have to be full of excitement to feel beautiful. So, being present is a big part of it too. Life can get so busy and it's easy to miss the small things. But when I slow down, even just for a few minutes, I can actually notice the joy in those everyday routines. It's like a little reminder that there's peace all around us, even in the most ordinary moments.
Great. I love that, Siona. So I think many of us can relate to this idea of, waiting for happiness instead of creating a joy in every day, in our daily life. So would you say that joy is a skill we can develop over time?
Yes, definitely. I believe that joy is something we can nurture, just like any other habit. So the more we focus on being grateful for what we already have, the easier it becomes to feel joy. Even on tough days, it's like a kind of muscle. The more we practice, the stronger it gets.
Yes.
And when hard times come, we have the foundation of joy to help us stay steady. It doesn't take away the sadness, but it keeps us grounded. Like we are holding on to something really solid.
Great, great. That's really inspiring, Siona. So it shows that, happiness doesn't have to be something we chase after. It's about nurturing joy in the here and now, in the present moment, right? So as we
Yes.
wrap up this segment, so what's one practical tip you would like to give to our listeners for building a lasting sense of joy in their life on daily basis?
Okay, so I'd say start small with gratitude. Just a few moments each day where you think about something that brings you peace and comfort. When we notice these little things, they add up over time. They shift the way we look at our lives. Instead of waiting for something big, we can appreciate all these small, precious moments. And those little bits of joy build up into something very lasting.
Great, great. Such a powerful advice, Yona. So, you mentioned, small things that makes us happy, that we get a joy in our life. So, would you like to mention some of the small things you experience in your daily life? How does that feel?
Okay,
That's
like as I would say, I just feel grateful for all the little things in my life, and it's that gratitude that builds up joy in my life. Like when I wake up every morning, it's such a pleasant thing, to feel grateful that we are welcomed into a new day,
yeah,
and every little things. I'm just thankful for all those small things that I come across through the day. Like I'm thankful for the sunshine. I'm thankful for the fresh air that we breathe, and I'm thankful, that we have a warm meal on our table, so we have a roof over our top. So it's just the tiny, tiny little things, that I'm always grateful for every single day. So that's what gets me into the habit of thankfulness. And when I get that, into the attitude of gratitude, it really helps me through, and it's what builds joy. And as I said, joy is everlasting, and it's something, even if there are storms in your life, it brings in the peace. And I think that's what's really important. So it's very crucial. Yes, stay happy, feel the happiness of every day, but cultivate joy in your life.
great, great. Thank you for sharing that. By this powerful advice given by Siona, it means like, practicing joy in the sense practicing a gratitude on daily basis. That will be a very great and strong foundation in your life for joy. So I think this conversation is helping us all reframe this happiness as temporary, but joy as something very deeper. And now it's time for one of my favorite shows, as always, favorite parts of our show, the rapid fire inspirations. So I'll say a word. So you will respond with the first thought that comes to your mind. Are you ready, Siona, to go ahead to get started?
Absolutely. Yes, let's go for it. Yeah.
Great, great. So all right, the first word is joy.
So joy that feels like warmth and peace in my heart. It's like this calm sense that I'm okay no matter what's going on around me. So joy is being able to smile even when things aren't perfect.
Great, great. Wonderful. So next word we are going with purpose. How do you define purpose in seconds?
Uh, so purpose, it's that deep sense of direction, that feeling that I'm here for a reason. It's what pulls me forward even when I'm uncertain. It gives meaning to the everyday moments and help me stay grounded in what really matters.
Great, great. Then finally, growth.
Growth, it's not always easy, but it's so necessary. Growth means stepping out of my comfort zone, learning from the hard stuff, and becoming someone really stronger, kinder, and closer to what I'm meant to be. Is It's like being refined over time, not perfect, but becoming a better version of myself.
So it is basically becoming a better version of ourselves, right? The growth. So very beautiful answer, Siona. I always love hearing your quick reflections. So they are really a pack of punch. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Voices of Motivation, Conversations that Inspire. Thank you, Siona, for joining me and sharing your thoughts on happiness and joy.
Thank you, Smitha. It's such a joy to be here and talk about these things. So, I really hope our conversation today has brought a bit of comfort and perspective to everyone's listening.
Definitely, definitely. It's been a very, wonderful and insightful thoughts you have been sharing with us. So thank you so much for thanks to all our listeners for tuning in today. Remember, happiness may come and go, but cultivating joy helps us create a long-lasting sense of peace in our life, especially in our daily life, right? So join us next time for another meaningful conversations. Until then, take care and keep finding joy in the little things of your life. Signing off, Smita. Thank you so much.